Runnings Marine Corps is adding a new feature that which I've been waiting for quite a long time now, which is the heavy machine guns, the M2C and the ML66D. Now, there's a couple ways that you could get your hands on these bad boys. You either start as a combat technician, you could be a squad leader, or you could buy them from requisitions. So if you are a comtech, you go over to your gear rack, you go over to the restricted firearm section, and just for 24 points, you're able to get yourself a heavy machine gun case. So you can only really get one. If you're a squad leader, you're able to get one for free. And if you go to requisitions, you go over to order items, then weapons, you're able to get them for about 6,000 per pop, which is very expensive in comparison to any of the other weapons, which are like 4,000, 3,000. So what's all this fuss about? What makes these guns so good? Let's get over that. So here we have all the tools that you'll need to operate these weapons and a ML66D. So let's just grab one of these right here. Now, this has a good couple of parts. Let's start. You have your belt, which you just grab here and you toss it on. And that lets you store your screwdriver, your wrench, your ammunition, and you could put also other tools that you don't come with. So you could get your crowbar, you can toss it in here. You get your blowtorch that you'll need later, you toss it in here. Very handy. You also get the machine gunner pamphlet. Now, if you're a combat technician, you already have all the skills required in order to operate this gun. You have the engineer skill of 3, and I believe you normally need an engineer skill of 1 just to operate these weapons. So you won't be able to read this. I'd just give that to a rifleman or somebody who wants to operate the guns. Somebody in Bravo, probably. So you have your mount. And then, of course, you have your heavy machine gun. So the way that this works is you press Z, and that places the mount on the ground. But right now, it's aiming around that way, which is not something we really want. So you're going to take a wrench, and you're going to take your screwdriver. First, you're going to put it down on the ground using your screwdriver, and that anchors it. Then, to move it, you press it with your wrench, and now it's aiming that way. Now it's aiming north. And now it's aiming west, which is what we want out of it. So, we're going to take our gun now, and you just slap the bad boy on. There you go. Gun's all ready to work. Now, you take your screwdriver. There you go. Now, to unanchor it, though, you just press it with the screwdriver again, and it comes off with the tripod. It's even more mobile in this state because you could just do that and then hit it with a screwdriver, and now it's ready to function. So that's very, very handy. Another thing that I did notice is that if you take the gun, you're able to put it on your back, which is great for mobility. You could have a shotgun on your back, and you could swap places with the machine gun. Very, very handy. But let's get to shooting. So let's take the gun, place it down. You need both hands open after you fix it. Take your ammunition, put it inside, and that is 700 rounds of ammunition, which is one of the largest magazine capacities in the entire game. So you get in and start shooting. It has a fire rate of 3.3, which honestly isn't that great, but it's very good for suppressive fire. You can shoot this pretty much as long as you have ammunition for any distance, really. You can see it's falling off a good deal. That's loss of 10 points of damage. But this does build up over time. If you keep shooting, nobody's going to want to be there. Which makes this thing just very, very handy for suppressive fire. But the thing that makes this thing real nice, though, let's get ourselves a Marine Raider. Sebastian Timora here. And you keep shooting. And as you can see, it's completely IFF safe. What this means is you could have just a gang of Marines in front of you, and you could still keep shooting. So if you're like pushing with the front, and there's a big like choke point, and you need to lay down some fire, cover a retreat, cover an advance, cover somebody retrieving a body, this thing is effectively having your own smart gun, which is just very, very handy. Now, it's also useful, so you get yourselves a non-IFF here, which that's SPP, and you get on the gun, and it still Swiss cheeses them. Very handy. We'll get ourselves a Xeno. For example, that's a drone. Not kill rate in the world, really. But it did do the job eventually. It's about creating pressure. Now, another thing to just quickly note about these guns is if you take... Let's just get ourselves another one of these. Another one. Another ML6060. You place the mount, you set it up, and then you screwdriver it, and then you try to place the gun. You won't be able to. That's because you need to have at least 5 meters distance. So let's get our gun mobile. Jeez. And that's a bit more than 5 meters. So we'll grab the gun and put it back on. And now it's all good. So let me just grab this again. That's mainly to prevent spam. You don't want, like, a line of these things. That'd be potentially game-breaking. So let's just take this bad boy down. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, it'd be really bad if I did forget. There is one issue with this gun, which is why you have the wrench. It has a effective distance or range of cone of fire, is a better term, of 180 meters. So, or 180 degrees. So you're able to shoot in, like, this cone of fire, but you're not able to fire behind you. So if you ever get caught with somebody behind you, you're going to need to be ready, maybe with a shotgun, maybe with somebody who's watching the flank, one way or another. You need to be able to have a backup plan. And you need to have your wrench ready so that you can reposition it rapidly if you want to fire. So that's everything. Well, not quite everything yet, but most of the things you need to know about the ML66. So let's go over to its cousin, the M2C. This you don't get as a contact without going to requisitions or something like that. You open the box, and you'll notice it has the rig, 4 boxes of ammunition with 125 each, a pamphlet, but it also doesn't have any tools. This gun comes with the tripod already on, so let's just place it down. It's ready to fire. You just load the ammunition in, it's ready to fire. So just go and do this. As you can see, it don't have no IFF. So if your friends are, you know, in your line of fire, and you just shoot, how many rounds is that? Like 7. That's 7 shots. 7 shots just killed instantaneously a death squad. That is an insane kill potential. And this is something you want to be more cautious about with Marines than the enemy itself. So we'll have a drone right there. Yeah, you got to be careful with it. Of course, it's also shooting ridiculously faster. That's 10 per second, which means that the very small magazines you got here are going to absolutely get blitzed through when you're shooting this thing. So it's about, as you can see though, it's a bit better of damage than the other gun. 45, and then it falls off to 17 at that distance, 29, 37, 41. It's stronger. It's much more ambitious. But it's also, on top of the whole Swiss cheesing thing, able to do this. You're able to do 360 degrees. It doesn't matter where you put this thing. You are now technically so something back. You see somebody behind you, hit him. Somebody inside, hit him. You might be noticing another thing about this gun. It's getting really red when I shoot this thing. So let's just finish this off. And we'll grab this, and we will continually fire. As you can see, it started overheating. That will, of course, not bode well for your gun if you keep doing it. So, again, it's overheated. It's overheated. Well, no, it ran out of ammo. I was wrong there. Overheated. You don't want to keep doing this to your gun. You don't want to abuse your gun. If you do that, it's just not gonna work. You don't want to work with barrel. So, what do you do after you damage a gun? Well, it's a good thing I brought this blowtorch here. You just put it on, and then you start repairing the gun. It'll take a bit, and I believe that's 1 blowtorch per stack of damage you do to the poor thing. So let's just get back to shooting. A little fresh one in there. It's damage from overheating. Take that. Repair that. If you damage your gun, you should really just stick up and repair it yourself. Make sure you bring a blowtorch whenever you operate this thing. You might have noticed, as well, that this gun didn't come with any tools. You look inside the box, no tools here. So that's another nifty thing about this. You just press that on deploy, and you just pick up the gun. You don't need tools. You just slam this down, and it's ready to go. Just alt-click it, ready to go. This thing is incredibly mobile, and it also fits on your back. So it's very nifty. It's much more user-friendly. I don't think you need as much investment necessarily as the ML66D, where you gotta get tooled, you gotta screw it down. This is just something you could slam down. This thing is going to be also, like, actively terrifying for any sort of human v human combat. Like, machine gun precisions are going to be so if you're a PvE player, which, by the way, you should check out PvE, look out for these things. They're going to be very scary. Now, there's one last thing I have to cover. We're going over to this room over here. We have the ML66 Scoped Editions. Now, these come in emplacements, or if you are a pilot, you're able to take these metal shield ones, and you're able to put these on your ships. So this might be useful for the Alamo, where you've got an FOB siege going on, and the bugs come in, so you take the gun out, and you're covering the ship. And this, of course, has all the same IFF protections. So we have some non-IFF, and we have some IFF covered here. As you can also see, it's firing at 5 shots per second. It has a ridiculous magazine of 1,500 rounds. So this thing is really just a cooler version of the ML66. Now, of course, there are some flaws with this version. If you take your wrench, you may notice, shoot, you can't reposition them. These are very much static emplacements. These are the things where you should put them down, and you want them to cover your FOB, and nothing else. I'm fairly certain that these sandbag ones, these nests, you can't make yourself. These are mapped in. So that is one thing to worry about. Let's get some grenades, by the way. So I'm going to go over and get some grenades, because you might have noticed, if you hit one of these things, nope, do damage. So we're going to just order items, search item, HEDP, blast grenades. Yeah, we'll get one of you. Backdraw categories, main menu, order items. Nope. Oh my god. Raise platform. So, you might have noticed that these things could suffer damage. Too close, too close, too close, too close. Let's first try detonating a grenade straight at its feet. You have your 30mm HEDP.
Grenade out!
Oh, hell! The machine gun's gone! Who could have perceived this from happening? I detonated a grenade on it, and it broke? Alright, that's enough tomfoolery. You pick up your gun, and it's absolutely shattered. It's broken. Some idiot with an HDB died on the lines, and your gun is ruined. You just take your welder. Where the hell did I put the welder? Where the hell did they put the welder? There it is. And you start repairing it. It's gonna take a while. Might as well... I can't stop. There you go. Still some room to go. Let's just blow that one up, too.
Rolling frag!
Where'd my tripod go? Yeah, as you can see, tripod broke. Not ideal. So you're gonna have to go get a new tripod. At least the gun itself is safe. So, of course, be incredibly careful with these machine guns. You want to make sure that you don't drop an HDP at their feet. I guess likewise, if you got a machine gun nest, a very good way of flushing that out would be, of course, a grenade.
Grenade out!
Get back. There you go. Machine gun nest down. So, I believe that covers, for the most part, everything that you need to know about the new heavy machine guns that are coming, hopefully, in the next update. So, if I got anything wrong, which I honestly might have, do correct me in the comments. I am going to link a description. Well, I'm going to link the PR itself that added these, if you want to look at the raw stats. And I want to give a hearty thanks to the people who worked very hard to add these to the game. I am very, very excited to put these things to the test. So I hope you have a good day and a happy hunting out there, Marines.